Hello, everybody. Welcome back to HTC Invitational. I'm your host, Nimsh, and I'm joined by my co-host, Monk. We had 3 amazing matches. We had Forsen hyped, Tides of Time advancing to top 4, and now it all comes down to Trump, the owner of this channel. Big shout out to him versus Strifecro. TSM versus Cloud9. Monk, who do you think is going to win this?
I mean, if it continues the trend of kind of the underdogs prevailing, I would have to say that Trump is probably the favorite in this match. He hasn't had as great success as Strifecro, but if there's anything that Trump can do really well, it's getting to the round of 4 in tournaments because he's done that so often. In the last 3 or 4 tournaments, he has gotten to the round of 4, but unfortunately, he's kind of stopped there every single time. We'll see if he can do this yet again in the HTC Invitational.
Well, this time Trump is playing on his own channel with the support of all the Trump fans and his fan base. So, and he prepared for his tournament. He is top 15 in the world, I believe, in the ranking. So I think he has a good chance. And as you said, if the underdog wins, then Trump is favorite to win. But let's talk about the lineups first. Like, Trump is bringing a lot of control lineups. Control Warrior, a very taunt-heavy Druid with Kalfazad. And I don't exactly remember his third deck, but I believe it was also something anti-aggro, right?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say it as control decks, it's more of anti-aggro decks. And I think that's actually certainly a very smart decision just based on the metagame right now, which is just a lot of aggro decks like Mech Mage, like Zoo, and of course the Hybrid Hunter, which is perhaps the most threatening deck yet. Also, we have the Grim Patron Warriors, which just overall they're just very good against decks that don't have big taunts in them. Unfortunately for Trump, Strifecro will be bringing Handlock, so that might be a deck that Trump might struggle with, especially with the Ramp Druid that doesn't have combo in it.
Oh man, there is a chance that we're going to witness Handlock versus Handlock again. I'm so excited to see that. Okay, so Trump versus Strifecro, TSM versus Cloud9. I'm excited, and players are not ready yet. We can look at the bracket now. We had a couple of cool stories. Yesterday, we had a lot of Team Liquid players eliminated. Unfortunately, all the TSM players advanced.
Oh man, 1 out of 1 TSM player advanced. Well, good job to their team. Also, the team that's sponsoring, one of the teams that's organizing this tournament, as it is on Trump's channel, as you can all tell.
Yeah. For Cloud9, we had 3 players advance and 1 player to fall. Tempo Storm, 100% players advanced. I believe every player from Team Dignit is lost in the form of Chucky losing to Trump.
So confirmed, Tempo Storm and TSM are the best teams in Hearthstone.
Yeah, 100% win rate.
With
and
a
the
huge sample.
Ready. All right, Monk. This is it. This is the last quarterfinal match. Strifecro versus Trump. Hunter versus Druid. And Strifecro has a white blanket.
Oh my god. Strifecro is so cute right now.
Is that a Cloud9 jersey or is it just a blanket? Okay, it's just a blanket, I believe.
Okay. But you know what? Trump's hand is looking pretty amazing with Zombie Chow. He also has just a lot of removals, and I'm sure he'll either draw into a lot of taunts or perhaps a Wallet Growth or an Innervate. Any of those would be good. It just happens to, this matchup is so good for Druid because there's so many taunts in Trump's deck right now, and even double.
Wow. Double
Zombie Chow.
Job done.
Yeah. This is exactly what you need. Like, Trump's deck is poised to defeat all those nasty aggro decks. He is making a statement. Like, no aggro deck is going beside me. I'm going to defeat all of them. Smorks. And he did it yesterday. And right now he's poised really well to win versus Strifecro's aggro decks. Maybe it's possible that this Hunter, even though it's not fully aggro, it's kind of like a hybrid. It's possible that it's never going to win versus Trump.
Yeah. I think before Strifecro drew the Haunted Creeper, he actually could have considered passing and just hero powering at this turn to set up for the Eagle Horn Bow, but he still does that because he's afraid of perhaps if he play the Haunted Creeper, he's afraid of Zombie Chow attacking into it and then having it hero power. So fortunately for Strifecro, this is kind of ideal for him. If he didn't have the Eagle Horn Bow, which is a one of in this type of mid-range hybrid hunter, then he would have been really sad.
Yeah, that's true. He will be able... Oh, but there's a Slash Belcher, so with Innervate, Trump will be able to protect that Zombie Chow, which is actually a weird thing to say. Protecting your Zombie Chows? Why would you ever do that?
Zombie Chow's MVP. So, it's very awkward turn for Strifecro again. Playing the Pilot Shredder, it just gets traded down by the Sludge Belcher. Playing the Haunted Creeper plus Mad Scientist. If Strifecro is only running Freezing Traps, then the problem is the Zombie Chow can just proc the Freezing Trap after killing the Mad Scientist. So that probably isn't the...
It might be the
wise
play,
course of
though.
action.
It might be the play, though. Like, the only one that's left for him.
Just,
Guess.
it's the best bad play.
Yeah, and it enables Piloted Shredder, the Shredder into Abusive Surgeon next turn, because you're probably going to have a minion, one of the Spectral Spiders left, so you will be able to get some value from buffing those minions, and that will be your turn 5 into turn 6 high main. He is losing a beast though, so he won't be able to use kill commands immediately after.
Yeah, so many good options for Trump. He can Wild Growth, Wrath, or Keeper. I kind of like saving the Keeper here though, because
High mains.
If Trump saw the last games, yeah, exactly, high mains. You nailed it 100%. You could actually just proc the Creeper and then Wrath and Hero Power here. Although I kind of like Wild Growth. I don't think the one damage from the Spectral Spider really is that impactful.
The thing with Wild Growth is that if you Wild Growth now, you are giving yourself a better chance with future draws, but right now you don't have those cards that you would really like to play next turn.
Yeah,
but then again,
I really agreed with what Trump did.
Yeah, especially that Trump is running Ancient of War, and he's having like more 7 drops. He's having a Kalthazad and basically a heavy deck, so having that Wild Growth on a turn where he is able to cast it without problems is an excellent play. All right, so another bad turn for Strifecro.
I don't
Kill
know.
the shred. Like even if he kills the Shredder, what's the secret, by the way?
It's almost certainly Freezing Trap.
Okay.
Mouse over. Yep. Yeah, it seems to be the exact deck list that Protohype was running to rank 1 Legend ladder. And Strifecro, even though like he does come up with a lot of his own decks, especially when the new cards are released, he is a net decker at the same time. He does net deck quite a bit. So this play, he's trying to get more value off his Freezing Trap, but he has to spend a lot of resources in order to do so.
Yeah, but he still ends up with the board, and Freezing Trap is so important versus Druid, just getting those big minions out of the way. And wow, there is an Ancient of Lore top deck. So Trump can just coin the Ancient of Lore, draw into cards, making his hand much better from now. And unfortunately, I think we lost Monk for a moment, but Trump is getting Ancient of War, Swipe, and with that hand he has almost all the tools he needs. Unfortunately for him, there is that Freezing Trap that will stop the attack, but another Ancient of War just building up its own wall. No silence for Strifecro, which is one of the best answers against the 5/10 Blueberry. Here, not attacking is possibly the way, especially after seeing high main. You might be thinking, hey, okay, I'm seeing high main, so Freezing Trap is definitely a possibility. But even if he attacks, he will be able to replay that Ancient of Lore, draw more cards, maybe even heal if needed. Trump has all the tools he needs here.
All right, I'm back, and wow, I see this is a fantastic position from Trump. Like you said, just all the tools. He can silence the high main. He can play a second Ancient of War if he deems it necessary. I don't know what Strifecro can do to come back.
Yeah, another question is definitely what Strifecro can do here, and he knows that a silencing Hyman is a possibility. Maybe you do sacrifice your Hyman here. If there would be like a Leok, let's say, then Strifecro will be able to trade into that Ancient of Lore and still maintain the board. So Leok into Pilot the Shredder would be amazing. If that's a Huffer, let's say, he can still kill the Ancient of War. Kill commands is certainly an option, maybe less risky. Pilot the Shredder is definitely a card you want to play this turn.
Yeah. This seems like the strongest board possible for Strifecro. But again, Trump has all the right answers. Just something simple as a Keeper the Grove and Swipe does fairly well against this board. Even Keeper plus Wrath plus Hero Power deals with the board.
Even like Wrath first and then see what's happening. If there's like one toughness minion, then Swipe and Hero Power is enough. So I like Wrathing here first. There is a Brewmaster, which is not amazing, but not terrible as well. And Trump is going to kill this board almost entirely, just leaving one Hyena laughing at him for a moment, but not really being threatening. And he still has that Ancient of War and Keepers and Ancient of Lore, so basically everything he needs. Strifecro will need an amazing series of draws. A lot of Huffers to get Trump lower.
Have we seen an RMB Gal in this game yet, or in the series? If not, like there's pretty much no way for him. Yeah, if not, there's no way for Strifecro to get past the second advantage floor when it eventually comes down to it. And yeah, just clearing the board fully. Leopard Dome, kind of a bottom deck here.
Yeah, right now what Strifecro can do is just go for face. That's the only course of action. Unless he's running an explosive trap and hedges his bets that he gets one. But just going for face and hoping for a quick shot into kill command might be much better. That Leopard Dome is still dealing 2 points of damage.
Yeah, exactly. But after that, then what?
After that, he top deck, and that's it. Like he's still not out of the game. He still has a couple turns, but there's he knows that Ancient of Lore is in hand. It will heal. Now it's Taunt Wall. You know, like an Iron Beak Owl into. Alright, Iron Beak Owl is not doing much actually.
Yeah, you basically need something else. Maybe Quick Shot is amazing.
Quick Shot is amazing. You Quick Shot face, and if there is a second Quick Shot or kill command, that's it. Alright, Strifecro.
Okay, so yeah, this is a good play. He's just getting the traps out of his deck, maximizing the chances to get that kill command.
Filtering the deck. Can Strifecro get a kill command? Not yet. And what's the trap? Because Strifecro still has time. Even if Trump heals now for 5, he will not be able to use the hero power. So he'll be at 7. This means that if this is an explosive trap, if it's being procced, then kill command, hero power is lethal. Quick shot into kill command is still lethal.
But you know what? As this is the prototype list, there are no explosive traps. And I think, Trump definitely needs to proc this trap right now. He just needs to go for face as much as possible, raise the hunter at this point.
Not give any top decks.
Yeah, Trump is going to be scared that the card that Strifecro is holding is some kind of beast.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Alright, so you do hero power here. But still, Trump is in an amazing position. He's not winning next turn, I believe. He has 12 plus 6. That's 18 points of damage, 2 damage off lethal. But then Strifecro. Can Strifecro top deck anything to win? If Trump is going to use the hero power, that's 6. 4.
He needs a second quick shot into more damage. That's pretty much it. Al wouldn't do it. Kill command wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
I
but
guess
then
a quick shot into an owl would do it though. Oh
True.
wow, even more of an anti-aggro choice than mind control tech. Just counters aggro decks perfectly.
all right, so Trump just patiently maintaining his position here, securing his win, trying to deny any top deck possible, setting up lethal next turn. He's so close to winning.
Yeah, he's just playing around that heal bot that's pretty much in every Hunter decks these days, right?
Yeah, true. Not playing around Molten Giants. That's an Iron Begao, but it's not enough, I believe. The 2 damage from Glaivezuka plus 2, it's 4. No chargers. And that will be it. Trump will win the game. Not even a way for Strifecro to stop it.
Yeah, it's actually this game was actually fairly important for Trump to win because if this deck got matched up against, let's say, the Handlock, Trump would be heavily unfavored.
Yeah.
Without burst is the Force of Nature combo is exactly what Druid needs in order to win this game.
Strifecro is trying to buff his own hero with Abusive Sergeant. It's not working this way, Strifecro. We are so sorry. But we are happy for Trump winning the game number 1 on his own channel, securing the Druid.
Yeah, pretty close game, I would say. Even though we are really hyping this matchup to be extremely heavily favored for Trump, we just kind of see how strong this Hunter is.
Yeah.
Just able to deal so much damage to Trump and almost closing out the game in the final rounds of the game. If he had top decked Kill Command in that crucial turn, he would have won, actually.
Yeah, also like getting Iron Beak earlier, it was possible to win that way as well. But then Trump had an advantage like throughout most of the games and most of the game, just setting up those taunt walls, having heal, having those keepers, making good decisions. So right now, Strifecro is down to Strifecro has to use all 3 decks. And do you still go with the Hunter, or do you just swap things up a bit, mix things up? Roll a die.
Rolling a die sounds like a good choice. I mean, I know a lot of casters they like to talk about should I pick this deck or that deck, but in the end, to be honest, a lot of it does come down to just being as unpredictable as possible, and thus just rolling a die, just picking a random deck essentially.
All right. And for Trump, he's just going to go 50-50 on his deck lists. He still has the Contra Warrior and the 3rd deck, which is Handlock. All right, so Trump's going to go with the Contra Warrior. Game number 2 is going to start. Trump versus Strifecro, TSM versus Cloud9. Strifecro is going with the Hunter again. Oh, man.
I actually would say that this deck, or the Warrior, is actually probably slightly favored against the Hunter. And my reasoning is that because this is a hybrid Hunter, it has sort of the weaknesses and strengths of both the Phase Hunter and the mid-range Hunter. Phase Hunter is obviously disadvantaged against Control Warrior. And mid-range Hunter, that matchup against Control Warrior is heavily debated. A lot of players think that the mid-range Hunter is heavily favored. But after talking to a lot of mid-range Hunter specialists like Jab and like 9man, they've told me both that this matchup is kind of closer to 50-50 than most people imagine. So a deck like the Hybrid Hunter, that's kind of a mix between the 2 versions of popular Hunters that were played before, I would say that the Control Warrior is favored there.
Yeah. I would agree. Most of the time, it comes down to turn 6 high main, and if there's a way if Warrior is able to set up answers for the high main, and if Hunter misses the high main, then Warrior is enough to just stabilize the board, put those Belchers, and just answer it maybe with Savannahs as well. So early game weapons are really important. Armor Smith. Trump gets the weapon. He has the Shield Slam as well. A pretty good start for Trump here. For Strifecro, it's not terrible. It's decent. He just needs to draw into that high main at a key moment. Hydrogen Shredder is very nice as well, if he gets one.
He's being very aggressive here, but unfortunately he's going to be punished. A lot of players, I think, would have played this game a lot more slowly. Just dropping the Mad Scientist on 2, dropping the Animal Companion on 3. And that would actually have been better if Strifecro had known that Trump had the Fire War Axe. But you know what? The chances of you having a Fire War Axe on turn 2 are slightly less than 50%. It's around 40 to 50. So I think Strifecro was just playing the odds there.
Oh wow, Trumps picks up the Death Spite, which is another amazing card versus this matchup. You are able to trade your with the minions and then maybe even use it to dismantle the high main.
Yeah. So probably an Animal Companion will come down in this turn. Yeah, almost certainly an Animal Companion. None of the other options look very tempting. And if it's a Leok, that'll actually be pretty horrible for Strifecro. It's a Huffer though.
Yeah, Huffer is fine. You will be able to kill that Armor Smith. Going for face is an option with so aggressive hand. Because the trap is a freezing trap, right?
Yeah, almost certainly.
So you might actually kill the
check
Armor
on
Smith to protect your freezing trap.
I wonder.
Yeah, I'd say so. And you're forcing your opponent to have a Cruel Taskmaster in order to get rid of this Huffer very efficiently.
Yeah. Trump has a lot of options. Execute is fine. It's Shield Slam would also be fine, but then you have that Shield Maiden. So you have an amazing activator. Shield Maiden Shield Slam is one of the best ways to deal with the high main as well, like a later high main.
Yeah, but you know what? This is actually one of the strengths of the Hybrid Hunter, in that it runs a lot of like these bursty cards. Like, of course, it runs Huffer, Wolf Rider, Leopard Gnomes. And these cards are in Phase Hunter. Usually you can deal with them fairly efficiently with like just shield slamming them, but you actually don't want to waste your removal on shield slamming Leopard Gnomes in this matchup because of course there are high mains and there are Lothebs.
Yeah, that's true. But this situation with that Death Spite is really dire for Strifecro, even though he's going to deal some damage here with those Leopard Gnomes. His hand is not really good. If he follows up with Wolf Rider and a Hero Power, it's some damage there, but you might just not play anything. Just go with those Leopard Gnomes. Trump will have to remove them.
Yeah, unfortunately for Trump, oh my god. He has his choice of 6 drops here. I probably would prefer the Shield Maiden here, actually.
I like Torison because then you get the free Shield Slams. So now you have a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, and the only weakness of this play, I guess, is if your opponent draws into an Eagle Horn Bow very soon. But, you know, this deck list that Strifecro is running only runs 1 Eagle Horn Bow, so it's not as likely.
Look at that amount of damage. 7 damage. Face. Just testing Trump if he has enough heal. And right now he can actually shield slam both of those 1 health minions.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but that's the play. You do shield slam the 1 health minions, armor up, pull yourself up, and then you're actually fine with the freezing trap.
I think this is fine because if your opponent had high main on turn 6, he probably would have played it, especially with a freezing trap on his side of the board. So you can kind of deduce, okay, my opponent doesn't have high main, so I can sort of quote-unquote waste these freezing traps.
That's true. So Trump is up to 16 points of health, where Strifecro has... He still has options. He can still be really aggressive. Arcane Golem Hero Power. That's 6 points of damage. Next turn he will have Dogs, Kill Commands, and Hero Power, which is essentially 9+. Oh wow, there's Alexstrasza. This Alexstrasza, after Arcane Golem, he can just play it here. This is crazy. He can attack face with the Shield Maiden, get it back to hand, and then kill the 4-2 with Torison, play Alexstrasza, get out of range.
Oh my god, that's insane.
Trump
Just getting way too much health.
Especially after using a lot of burst himself. Strifecro out of cards. Torison doing some work on that Shield Maiden. However that sounds. So do you want to freezing trap here? Probably not.
Freezing
But-
trap? You mean unleash the hounds or?
No, I mean like if you attack Mad Scientist into 5/1
I see.
to stop Alex
think-
Straza.
You might at this point. I think you might want the freezing trap actually, because it essentially stops Alex Straza completely.
Yeah.
Maybe you attack with the Mad Scientist into Thorzan, and then you go to face with the 2 hounds.
That makes sense. Yeah, you stop Alex Straza this way, and you still try to deal that damage.
Yeah, like with this play, you can actually try to race your opponent. And
Wow,
this
it's
is actually,
a lot of-
yeah. Actually, I was thinking last turn, Trump actually could have considered playing the Shield Maiden instead of the Alex Straza for this very reason.
Well, Trump is still in a very good position here, and Strifecro just has to continue going for face and hope that he's going to eventually kill Trump. But then that Shield Maiden is annoying for sure. Not really working well with the Freezing Trap. Basically, Freezing Trap just providing 5 points of health, yeah, to Trump. And Strifecro might want to think about his own health as well. This is tough.
I think you might have to kill command on this turn because in future turns you don't have options, or if you don't draw into a beast, you won't be able to activate this kill command. He goes for this kill command on the Shield Maiden, which is essentially 5 damage to face.
He's going to kill. Is he going to kill Sylvanas?
I think you want to put as much damage to face as possible after you kill off the Shield Maiden.
All right,
Like, killing
but you do kill the
Sylvanas
Shield
actually-
Maiden.
Yeah, killing Sylvanas doesn't do much, because it just like, yeah, killing Sylvanas just like doesn't do much because the Sylvanas will go back into your opponent's hand anyway.
But it still stops Alex Straza. It's like
Yeah,
kind of like something is being stolen, so it might actually not work there because your opponent's getting a minion. And if you can't kill the minion, it's going to proc the freezing trap. So I can get behind that for sure.
So here's the question: does Trump just lose now? Because I don't see a way for him to.
Well, he can go back to 11, and if he uses Sylvanas to. Okay, so he procs the freezing trap with Sylvanas, and then he
Yes.
can kill the
What does
pilot.
he kill?
How much damage is there on board? That's 6, 8, 10. So what he can do, he can actually go for face with Alex Straza, I believe. He can gamble that there is nothing that it will deal 1 point of damage from hand. Alright, so Trump is going to gamble here. Setting up lethal next turn, I believe. And
With
Strife
the-
Prince.
Yeah, with the Sarah, he can actually force a tie if Strifecro doesn't draw anything with the Sarah Awakens, and he actually does get a Sarah Awakens.
He doesn't!
Oh my
it's a
God.
Haunted Keeper, it's a blank! So many damage cards in Strifecro's deck, and he gets nothing here.
Wait, this has a very good chance of getting a tie, because Strifecro will probably go for all for face here.
I wonder.
He can't possibly clear, and then Trump, he doesn't have any way to win on the next turn without using a Sarah Awakens, so he might just kill himself with the Sarah Awakens, unless
then
he
there's
draws
so
into a
many
second
cards.
Shield Maiden or Shield Block.
Yeah, exactly. So this is really exciting, Monk. What are we going to see? There's 2 dogs, 2 dragons, 1 spider, and 1 BGH in this scenario. Strifecro versus Trump. Strifecro might be thinking, is there any merit in attacking Alex Straza maybe with the 4-3? What am I going to get from Pilot to Shredder, and how is it going to enhance my situation here? So I guess just going for face with everything and using the hero power. Now it all comes down to what is Trump going to draw.
So Trump needs Shield Block, Shield
Taskmaster
Maiden,
is also cutting it.
Yeah.
Gromash.
Taskmaster, or a weapon. Oh my god, Dr. Boom isn't it. I think this is a
Wait.
draw.
Yeah. Actually, it is a draw. And you have to go for the draw, right?
Oh my god.
Is there any way? Monk, is there any way? Can you see anything here that is going to help?
I I don't even like. Is there anything that can come off the piloted shredder? I don't think so.
That will help Trump. Like a Doomsayer. Alright, so Doomsayer is possible. Not really. No, the Doomsayer is not. Okay, Doomsayer is actually okay, right? Like you attack into Pilot the Shredder, there is a Doomsayer, you attack into the 1-2, you armor up, and you pass. But then again, you give Strifecro a chance to top deck anything that is going to deal 1 damage. Any card that deals 1 damage is going to lose Trump this game. So
Oh
I
my god,
believe...
I think Trump's gonna go for it. Dr. Boom into Ysera Awakens.
Yeah,
Oh
I think
my
he's
God.
going for it.
The epic draw. One of the first draws I've ever seen in professional Hearthstone.
That's true.
Oh my god.
Here on Trump's channel, HTC Invitational.
Well, I'm sure Trump is very happy to be making Hearthstone history with that first draw. Like, has there been a draw ever in Hearthstone? I think there has been in smaller tournaments, but never in such a big tournament such as this, right?
Yeah, in top 4 especially, versus such like renowned players. Monk, we don't have an overlay for a tie. What are we going to do now?
I don't know. We just have to twiddle our thumbs and hope for it. So, I guess we're gonna replay that game because, like, there's no other choice.
Oh man,
It's gonna be Control Warrior versus Hybrid Hunter again.
I'm calling the admin right now. Dude, calm down. Trump, try the series. What are you going to do?
Oh my god, guys, tweet at make sure you guys tweet with the hashtag HTC Esports if you're just really excited about that draw. I'm sure I am.
Sarah awakens. She awakened and she killed everyone. Like, you never should wake Sarah up, man. It's dangerous.
Yeah, it's like a sleeping giant essentially. But wow.
Ysera, it seems like Ysera awakens. Like Ysera itself is dragon. It's like the ultimate resident sleeper of Twitch chat, right?
Yeah. Actually, now that I think of it, this was the second draw in professional Hearthstone history, because there was one match between Number Guy and I believe Colento, where Boombots like made a draw. Boombots plus Explosive Trap caused the draw. But this was certainly a more exciting draw because it didn't involve Boombot RNG as much, and it was kind of a guaranteed draw with the Ysera Awakens.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And we are going to jump into game number 2 or 3. I'm super confused, but we're seeing some Leprinomes. Same decks, guys. So, all right, we were joking a lot about the tie, and we are super excited about it. But what happens normally, and what is happening now, is that players are just going to rematch the same game. So Trump forced a tie, not giving Strifecro a chance to top deck something to kill Trump. He basically reset the game. Right now they have to remake it, same decks, same strategies, try to draw the same into the same cards basically, and then decide who is going to win, who is going to lose.
Exactly. Yeah, very. Again, Trump has weapons, but he might need something else here in order to deal with like this Leopard Gnome, for instance.
And he gets Armorsmith, a pretty good draw. So very similar opening for both players. There is a high mid though for Strifecro. Yeah, we'll see. Unleash the Hound's not really great.
I would definitely say that this draw favors Trump a lot more because he has the Armorsmith to deal with this Leopard Gnome. Oh, he's gonna play the Armorsmith. He has the Fiery War Axe to deal with the Knife Juggler, and then Strifecro just have to draw into a 3-drop into a 4-drop, all up until a high main. Trump even has a Deathbite to follow that up for an Animal Companion or a Piloted Shredder. He has an Acolyte for card draw after that Deathbite.
And Sylvanas for the high main.
Exactly.
And Sylvanas is a lady that can definitely tame that lion. But right now, Strifecro is missing that 3-drop and 4-drop, as you said. Animal Companion, Pilot Shredder, something like that. This is looking bad for Strifecro and great for Trump.
This is going to be a key turn for Strifecro. He needs an Animal Companion or an Eagle Hornbone here. Even a Mad Scientist would be good. An Arcane Golem, no.
This is a 3-drop, so if he was wishing for a 3-drop, he got it. But I don't like playing it here. If you play Arcane Golem, you probably just attack into Armorsmith, Going for phase with no follow-up is just bad. And giving 1 mana to warrior, enabling a death spite. Yeah, this is bad, Monk. You might just hero power pass.
Strifecro, he's doing a signature talking to himself. Like, he does this on his stream, and little do most people know, but in tournaments he actually just talks to himself in order to figure out the best play.
Sometimes it's good to vocalize your thoughts. Like, when you say what you think out loud, then you hear it and you analyze it. A lot of players, they don't talk to themselves, and then they do something stupid, and then they blame themselves, like, that was so stupid. And Strifecro will never do that. He will say it first, and then it's like, oh, this is so stupid, I will never do that.
Yeah, back in the ESGN days, it was like very surprising when I first saw Strifecro play live that he was talking to himself, but he was making such good plays every turn that I was like, hey, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should start talking to myself more.
Oh, definitely, Monk. You should start talking to yourself a bit more. Maybe then you'll play a bit faster.
Oh, shots fired.
This is something that not many people know, but Monk is one of the reasons why Blizzard implemented the rope.
It's actually me and Trump, actually. We used to be two of the slowest players in Hearthstone. But I have to say, like, we only, like, you can see Trump these days, he doesn't actually play that slow. And I think we both had a discussion where we only played slow because like, we were allowed to play slow. Like, there was no time limit on turns whatsoever. But fortunately, Blizzard fixed that bug.
Imagine casting Life Coach in Hearthstone Beta without a rope. It was like, after 2 hours, yeah, he is on turn 3. Still thinking. Okay, Monk. Strifecro is not really drawing anything. What do you think he's going to do here?
This is kind of one of the weaknesses of this kind of hunter, to be honest.
It seems like there is like no synergy now. Just, you know, normally when you play Face Hunter, you do have a lot of face cards, so you can just close your eyes and go for face. With the midrange hunter, you don't draw into Arcane Golem on turn 3. You have always something you can play, like even a web spinner that will give you another beast. So you have those plays. Here, he's just kind of stuck between two strategies, not really having a follow-up and not really having any synergies with cards in the hand.
So this Knife Juggler, essentially, he's going to hope that it deals 3 damage to his opponent's face. He's essentially using it as if it were kind of a worse Wolf Rider.
All right, so being Trump, you might consider a high main being played on 6. How do you prepare yourself for a high main? You do have Armor Smith, which is great. So you can get some armor. Do you play Acolyte of Pain? Maybe armor up. And I don't like using Shield Slam that much. But then again, you are at 18. If you use your weapon to kill Juggler, as you said, it will deal 3 damage to face. So you're dropping pretty low. It's 15 already. And Strifecro had a lot of cards in hand that he's not using. So Trump might be thinking Burst.
Exactly. This is actually the key turn of this matchup. Turn 5 is the Warrior and turn 6 is the Hunter. You basically need to set up as best as possible here.
Oh wow.
And
the Iron
Beak out. Yeah, what a great like tech choice for it, just specifically against Hunters. Trump really showing that he's very in tune with the meta game, and he's bringing decks that are really great against what he expects everyone else to bring.
That Iron Beak is not only excellent because it's a great inclusion in the deck, it's excellent on this specific turn because it will be so easy to deal with the high main. Wow, Harrison Jones as well to counter all the weapons from Strifecro.
Yeah, I really have to say this does seem like Trump's tournament to win because he's bringing so many great decks specifically for the format and specifically against the metagame. Just simple inclusions like Harrison Jones and Iron Beak Owl in his Control Warrior, and also just the general decision to bring Ramp Druid is just really great from Trump. Really amazing.
I definitely agree, and right now Strifecro, again, in such a bad position. What is he going to do? Like, Unleash here just to kill, maybe deny the Armor Smith, but still, that Acolyte of Pain is going to draw cards unless there is a Freezing Trap. But Trump is back to 24, 25 at this point. Having that Shield Maiden, having Death's Bite, like Trump has all the stuff he needs.
Yes. Oh man. He even has other tools like Harrison Jones in order to deal with weapons. Just has all the answers here.
If there is like a high main top deck by Strifecro, it will only hurt Strifecro. Because possibly Trump will be able to just shield slam his own Sylvanas and steal the high main.
Yep. And wow, Trump with even more heads up play, just setting up the Shield Maiden in order to get Freezing Trapped because he just wants all that extra health gain. It's pretty much the perfect answer to Freezing Trap against Hunters.
That's true. So Strifecro having one of the bigger minions in his deck, being Lothab, blocking the shield slam, but Trump will have ways to deal with this anyway. Is there any other play for Strifecro?
I think Strifecro might actually consider Unleash the Hounds and kill commanding the Shield Maiden, just because he really doesn't want his opponent to get the Shield Maiden back.
Yeah, she's just providing health. So like, if you kill command Shield Maiden, you're dealing 5 damage. And if you don't kill command Shield Maiden, you are like your opponent is gaining 5 health. So it kind of nullifies itself. So kill command here into Shield Maiden makes a lot of sense.
It feels so bad for Strifecro again, though. I mean, having a Acolyte of Pain Freezing Trap doesn't feel good, but having a Shield Maiden Freezing Trap feels just as bad. And when you're a Hunter player and you're having to use kill command on minions, probably something is going poorly.
Yep, that's true. But at least he has 2 dogs. He will be able to attack with his dogs, right?
Yeah.
Faithful, good old dogs.
I would actually like to see Trump not attack here because he has the Harrison Jones in his hand. So even if Strifecro had an Eagle Horn Bow on the next turn, then he could just like use the Harrison Jones anyway.
Yeah, and then
Get
draw
2
an extra
weapon
card.
charges.
Abusive Sergeant is not doing much.
Yeah, but I guess this play plays around Abusive Sergeant a bit, simply because if Strifecro were able to kill off the Abusive Sergeant or kill off the Acolyte of Pain with the Abusive Sergeant, it would have been decently bad for Trump, I'd say. Like having the Sylvanas freezing trapped.
So what do you do here, Monk? Do you, because Sylvanas is contesting Lothab, do you just run both dogs and Arcane Golem to Sylvanas and then play Lothab? It seems so bad. You can also go for Abusive Sergeants, Arcane Golem, Hero Power, and go for face with everything to ignore Sylvanas because you can't really deal with it.
Yeah, just no good choices here.
Alright, so I believe Strifecro is deciding to go for face. Going for face being the only way to deal with this situation. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's a smart choice, especially because Trump doesn't have any more heals. But he has just so much HP at this point. And a Sludge Belcher to boot.
Is there any way to... He can actually play 2 weapons and kill everything.
Yeah, I like that actually.
So Death's Bite first, then Fireworks. There is a Whirlwind effect, killing the 1 health minions. And then...
you know what? You can even Shield Slam the Arcane Golem.
Yeah, to keep the 5/4 on board.
Yeah, and then just go for face with the Sylvanas because you want to deal as much damage to your opponent's face as possible.
Yeah, I like it. And you still want to armor up this turn anyway, so... So it's 6 mana, 8, 9. Perfect turn.
Yeah, just like as if it were a ladder game, I think I would have given up a long time ago in Strifecro's position, and he's just getting out of here for a while because I think he knows that he's in pretty dire straits.
Strifecro left for a moment. He was just... I can't watch this. This is too much. Oh yeah, obviously I attack first as well. Good call.
being as safe as possible here.
Yeah, and now Strifecro is still in the same position. Lothab is getting contested by that's by that Sylvanas, and Animal Companion, if that's not Huffer, he needs a Huffer. Like Huffer in the Sylvanas, and then play Lothab.
It's actually quite unfortunate. He actually can't play both these minions unless the Animal Companion rolls a Huffer. So he's probably just gonna load them in hero power here.
Yeah.
And I guess saving the Animal Companion is alright because it is a beast after all, and you can use it to, for instance, activate a kill command later on, which you might need.
Yeah, and here Trump can just be aggressive, just play BGH/Belcher, armor up, and set up a kill next turn. It's not like Strifecro is going to use... I think he used double Unleash the Hounds this game.
Yeah, exactly. So Trump doesn't have to play Unleash the Hounds. There's pretty much nothing else that Strifecro can use to clear this board, so I think this is going to be game over. Trump wins the regame.
Yeah, he ties the first one, gives Strifecro no chances to top deck the lethal, which was very possible, and then he takes it with his warrior. And there is that Huffer, but it's not enough for Strifecro, so Trump is going to win with that control warrior, lock it, and then he only needs one more win with his handlock against all three of Strifecro's decks.
Yeah, normally I would say that handlock is unfavored against this kind of hybrid hunter. But, you know, Trump has been bringing such good tech choices in all of his decks that I would actually say that maybe Trump's handlock has like tech cards like double Zombie Chow, for instance.
We've seen them actually.
Yeah, double Zombie Chow?
I think we've seen double Zombie Chow from Trump because Trump was so anti-aggro. And I think we've seen a lot of anti-aggro and double Zombie Chow, especially in Druid, but I think in handlock we've seen those as well. And Trump was one of the first guys who was actually promoting double Zombie Chow in Warlock. Like a lot of people started copying him because he was playing it on a stream here where you're watching, and it worked. Great anti-aggro.
Yeah, not only double Zombie Chow, but maybe even if he brought an Ooze into his handlock, I would be pretty impressed there, because it's also a card that's really good against Grim Patron Warrior and really good against Hunter, which are two decks that I expect to be a lot of in this tournament.
Yeah, so excellent lineup from Trump, and working really well for him. Right now he's leading 2-0 versus Strifecro. So we are going to see in a moment what is Strifecro going to pick, if he's going to go with the Hunter again, or if he's going to mix things up a bit. So Monk, I'm excited. This might be the last game of this match, Trump versus Strifecro.
Yeah, and it's going to be game 4, but Trump is up 2-0 because, of course, we had the tie. Probably the second tie ever in professional Hearthstone.
Yeah, that's true. So
HTC always innovating, even with Hearthstone ties, right?
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. Okay, so the players are ready, getting into that game. We are going to see the Hunter again. Strifecro just keeps playing Hunter. He knows that he needs to win one game at least if he wants to take the series. Just uses the same deck. Trump knows the deck really well, having the handlock. What are both players looking for in the mulligans?
I think Strifecro is just looking to curve out really well. Because that is how you win against handlock. You just have minions that your opponent has a hard time dealing with, and if he doesn't draw into a Hellfire, for instance, then he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Trump, I think his hand is actually looking really good at this point. He probably would like some sweepers, like some Hellfires later on, but Molten Giants are kind of the cards that you want. Are pretty much like the way you beat Hunter is with Molten Giants into heals, into Sun Furies or Defenders of Argus, and even the Ironbeak Gal. It'll be useful against a variety of options, like Mad Scientist is a key one to Owl, because you don't want freezing traps to come onto the field.
That's certainly true, and you've mentioned it before that this matchup is actually favoring the mid-range Hunter. Why is that?
Yeah, mid-range Hunter it has so many Death Rattle minions that even if you do have the Hellfires, then there's going to be lots of effects coming onto the field. So just like a lot of sticky minions that Handlock just has a lot of very hard time dealing with, and then you compound that with the fact that there's a lot of burst in Hunter as well, kill commands, quick shots, straight from the hand, and also of course the Hunter hero power. That Handlock, even if they get Molten Giants behind taunt walls, they're still not going to be able to deal with those.
By the way, Trump, he threw away all the cards that you liked. I believe he was digging for those zombie chows because getting zombie chows early is so great, and getting them later, they're not doing that much.
Yeah, I agree. It really depends on the deck you're playing, I guess. Because Trump is running double zombie chow, he's actually way more likely to mulligan his complete hand and just hard mulligan for the zombie chows essentially. Unfortunately, he didn't get them, so his hand turns out to be quite a bit weaker than it would have been otherwise.
There is one now, so still, if there's a juggler being dropped this turn, I believe Strifecro will also consider Haunted Creeper, but if there is a juggler, then a Dark Bomb plus Zombie Chow will be very powerful from Trump.
Yeah, I guess I like the Haunted Creeper here.
What would you expect from the Warlock? At this point, you know you're playing versus Handlock, so if you go with the Haunted Creeper, you will be able to possibly trade into something, but it's not like Handlock is going to play a free drop.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like Handlock is going to have like really good minions for the juggles to hit, basically. It's not like they run like a lot of 1/1 tokens. So now that I think of it, just putting more pressure on the field is a lot better. Just generally in this matchup, but unfortunately Trump had the exact right answers, so it didn't quite work out as well as Trump, or rather as Strifecro might have hoped.
Yeah, but the play was correct, and here now he can coin the Pilot Shredder. Unfortunately, he's going to lose the 2-1. Is there anything else? Haunted Creeper, not really. Possibly he will be able to contest a Zombie Chow, but just playing Shredder on turn 3 is actually amazing.
And unfortunately, this is exactly what Strifecro didn't want. Just like Trump is able to contest the board so much with a kind of a greedy deck like Handlock, he's even going to be able to curve out really well with the Drake on 4, with the Sludge Belcher on 5. And after that, he has a really nice sweeper with Ancient Watcher into Shadow Flame. So
or just Siphon Soul into a big minion.
Exactly. Like, this might be one of those matchups, because he has the 2 Zombie Chows in his deck. This Handlock deck actually plays a lot differently than a typical Handlock that strives to get low, play the Molten Giants, and then heal back up. Trump, with his tech choices of double Zombie Chow and probably double Dark Bomb, his version of Handlock actually can fight for board.
Yeah. But again, this is this Trump's lineup. 3 anti-aggro decks that are countering this Hunter being, even though it's a hybrid, it's still pretty much aggro with the charge minions. So doing pretty well. Right now, Strifecro has a choice what to do. And a lot of people will see, hey, Iron Beak, so I need to silence the Drake. But here, he might also go for Iron Beak Unleash next turn and try to develop something this turn. He decides to silence it now, get some value from the Pilot Shredder. And there's Hellfire for Trump. Does it change a lot? Or is Sludge Belcher still the best card?
Yeah, this is a very interesting play from Strifecro. He's essentially making it so that this Twilight Drake, it actually doesn't get any good trades, even though it is.
And there is a Neutron.
I guess that's alright.
Yeah, it's okay. It doesn't. Well, you will obviously want something with 4 attack, right? To get to kill that Sludge Belcher. And 1-2 is not doing much. It's not giving a lot of value to Strifecro right now. He can go through Belcher with that Glaivezuka. Unleash the Hounds, not really useful. Glaivezuka giving attack to a Neutron might be interesting.
Yeah, essentially almost like a Cog Hammer, but no, it gives attack to the Haunted Creeper. Just favoring the beasts. Now this is actually going to be pretty awkward.
Yeah. It's like Strifecro spending his resources to go through Sludge Belcher.
What a value Sludge Belcher. It's just... Trump is showing exactly why Sludge Belcher is such a good card.
Trump rediscovering Sludge Belchers. Healbot is not that exciting, but it is something. It's like Hellfire here wouldn't do much. With Hellfire, you deal damage to yourself. You're not really clearing the board. There are still 2 Spectral Spiders left. But with Healbot, you are somewhat contesting this, forcing Strifecro. Well, not to trade, but like look at this. Strifecro has aggro hands that Juggler and Unleash the Hounds, and Trump full health, 1 minion, and just putting Strifecro when he wants.
Yeah, he's Trump at this point. He's just trying to bait his opponent into filling up his board even more, so that a Shadow Flame or a Hellfire will just do terrible, terrible damage.
That's absolutely true. So Juggler here maybe to get the knives from the spiders, but then that's really overextending into Hellfire.
Yeah, that just plays into Trump's hand, unfortunately.
Alright, so Strifecro is going for a face, trying to read that there might be Hellfire. Mountain Giant, a pretty good draw.
Well, I don't know if it's that great of a draw for 7 mana. It's a War Golem, essentially.
Can you play it this turn? I was excited about Mountain Giant because it is a big minion. So if Trump will be able to put it on board without paying that much cost, it's something that Strifecro might be afraid of.
Sunframe
and now with
Projector
Taunt Weaver,
is alright later on, but I don't like it currently. Maybe something like... I would definitely expect some kind of sweeper to be used this turn. Either the Shadow Flame or the Hellfire. And they both kind of accomplish the exact same thing, to be honest.
you don't want to get into Unleash the Hounds where there is Knife Juggler on the board.
Okay, so he's using the less versatile option of the Shadow Flame that requires a minion on the board.
Which is good. Like, and also Hellfire would put him lower on health.
Yeah, on the next turn, I think the main point is that on the next turn, if he has to use another board sweeper, he doesn't have to Ancient Watcher plus Shadow Flame. He can just use 4 mana on the next turn in order to just Hellfire. And after the Hellfire, he can even fit in more stuff, like possibly throwing a BGH in there.
That's true. And Strifecro picked Kill Command, which is a great card versus Handlock. It provides you with extra reach. So here, he's putting Trump down to 9. If Trump uses the Hellfire, he's going down to 6. And then a simple quick shot, there are no taunts, is going to be really troublesome. But a Siphon Soul is fine here, I believe. If you Siphon Soul Arcane Golem, you go up to 12. Then Spectral Spiders are going to put you down to 10. Hero Power is 8. And then you can possibly die, but it's unlikely.
So if you Siphon Soul, I guess you play a Watcher here, set up for the Iron Beak Owl into Sunfairy Protector. Mad Scientist is kind of a blank.
Yeah, it is. Was there anything that Strifecro could draw here to win right away? Like Huffer? I think Huffer would be lethal, right? 4 plus 5, 9, 11, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that would be exactly lethal.
Leok? Not really.
Leok would be it. Yeah, I think it's just Huffer in this scenario.
If you would get like a quick shot, was quick shot lethal? That was 6 plus 2, 8. No, 1 off.
Yeah, so I think Strifecro pretty straightforward play here. Just play your Mad Scientist, go for face with everything, hope for the best.
He is not in a bad position. If there is no heal from Trump, Strifecro will just continue dealing damage with the hero power, and he has the kill command, his finisher. Unleash the Hounds is providing him a beast. So even if there is a taunt wall, he has some reach. He has a second kill command in his deck. He has, I believe, double quick shot?
Oh, wow.
Using the dog now.
Pretty
So he's
all
putting
in
Trump to 7, which means that with the beast. Oh, Shadow Flame. Trump needs to heal. Is there any reason to tap? Not really, because then kill command and hero power kills you. And maybe that's why Strifecro actually used Unleash the Hounds to put Trump exactly on 7. Because if Trump taps, he's dead.
Exactly. Really smart here.
If you Shadow Flame, there is going to be a secret. This is tough. You will have 6 mana. You will have to kind of develop a taunt wall. So what you can do is you can play Iron Beak Owl, silence the 2/2. You can Shadow Flame the Iron Beak to clear the board, and then play Sun Fury to have a 4/5 taunt. And pass. And then hope you draw into Draxus or a second heal bot.
You know, maybe what would be better there, instead of silencing the Mad Scientist, is possibly silencing the
Shields up.
what's it called? Silencing the
Ancient Watcher?
Ancient Watcher, exactly. So then you can proc the freezing trap with the Sunwalker, or rather with the Sun Fury Protector. But actually, this actually turns out pretty well for Trump, because if he had gone for the play that I suggested, Strifecro wouldn't have drawn into this freezing trap.
Yeah, but still, Strifecro is in an amazing position here. He just needs one more turn. He doesn't even need anything. Like, he needs Trump not to draw into a heal. If Trump draws into a heal bot, or if Trump draws into Draxus, or another Siphon Saw, he might position himself to win. But right now, Trump is dead on... Well, it's not dead on board because he can't see the kill command. But just Hero Power Pass, might even play that freezing trap, doesn't matter. Strifecro is still thinking if he wants to play the freezing trap or not. There is no reason to play kill command now, because even if there is a Lotheb, it doesn't change much. And I believe that's tap for a heal bot. If that's not a heal bot, that's it. That's not. So Strifecro is going to take game number 3 versus Trump with a simple kill command to face.
Wow. Yep, there we have it. Kill command, and Strifecro is on the board. And you know what? I actually kind of like Strifecro's chances going into this. He's going to have a handlock mirror, and I think Strifecro is going to be have a huge advantage in the handlock mirror because Trump is running the double zombie chows.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Grim Patron Warrior against handlock, I have to give Trump the advantage there. So even though Trump has the advantage overall in the series, I think Strifecro still has a fighting chance.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it is Strifecro. Like, he was in many matches where he was down 3-0, and then he was climbing up, winning 4 games in a row. So anything can still happen. Now Trump is down to the handlock still. He needs to win at least 1 game to take the series. But Strifecro is fighting back with his decks, and he's not going down. Finally winning 1 game for that Hunter. He tried so hard, and it's paid off.
Yeah. He tried so hard and got so far. But, you know, in the end, sometimes it doesn't matter.
Wow. That was good.
Yeah, sometimes I try to out-nimsh you. It's possible.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed that one. So, Monk, how are you enjoying yourself? Are you enjoying the tournament?
Yeah, especially since we've seen a lot of new things happening. Aggro Paladin, Murloc, Warlock, even a draw in Hearthstone. Who could have imagined?
Yeah, and we are seeing some Volcanic Drakes as well, some new decks. Unfortunately, Aggro Paladin from RDU is out, but we still have some exciting mech decks from Forsen. Are you excited to see like Mech Shaman from Forsen with some Fell Reaver action?
Not so much, but I'm sure his opponents will give him a run for his money with their more, I guess, creative decks, I would say.
All right, so I want to use this moment as well to remind all of you guys that we are running HTC Invitational, $5,000 prize pool. The winner will take $2,500. Right now we are seeing Strifecro versus Trump. The winner of this is going to advance to top 4 which is in the money actually. They are already getting some money when they advance. The loser is going to be eliminated. A big shout out to Trump for hosting and lending us his channel to be here to show this tournament to you. And shout out to our viewers watching. And Monk, what do we have for our viewers? Because we do have a giveaway, I believe.
Yeah. Well, while we're going into this possibly final match of the round of 8, we have to say there's a lot of giveaways. There's t-shirts, there's tablets, there's a phone that you could win just by tweeting at HTC and hashtagging HTC Esports. But let's get on to the next game. It's going to be Handlock Beer. And even though Trump, we said he's going to be disadvantaged in this matchup because of the double zombie chows he's running, his opening hand is excellent.
Yeah, it is. I believe you do mulligan away the Molten Giant, but having Dark Bomb, do you mulligan away Dark Bomb? Because you do want to have Mountain Giants, you do want to have Twilight Drake. Molten Giant is nice, but it's not like you will surely be able to play it. And for Strifecro, he also has the Mountain Giant. Obviously, BGH is huge. Sun Fury, not so much. Mortal Coil is nice, but having an Iron Beak might be much better.
Yeah, I think I don't think Dark Bomb is that great in this matchup. I'd rather have like a second Molten Giant or a second Mountain Giant rather, maybe a Twilight Drake. Just all your big 4 drops, I'd say. Just all your big threats. The answers to big threats like BGH.
Farseer. This is so anti-aggro. Amazing. Actually, last game, if Trump would get a Farseer, it might have been different as well.
Yeah, so what I'm suspecting here is Trump probably runs double anti-heal bot and a Farseer.
Yeah, that's certainly possible. All right, so let's review this matchup again. It's a very intricate matchup where players will try to play Giants, counter the Giants, play Twilight Drakes, counter Twilight Drake, but what it comes down to is like who's getting lower, who's able to play Molten Giants first. When the Molten Giants are being dropped, who can have the big Shadow Flame? And a big Shadow Flame might decide the matchup. If there's a Lothab, another key card, blocking that key Shadow Flame, then the player with Lothab is going to make it. But Strifecro is playing Faceless. This is old school.
Yeah. Back when Strifecro was just dominating with Handlock all the time, Faceless was a card, and it was so good because when you played Mountain Giant on 4, your opponent had to deal with it, and if they didn't, they would have to deal with 2 Mountain Giants essentially because of the Faceless Manipulator. This Zombie Chow is actually getting some work in, and even though it doesn't matter, it's still useful for Trump because if he draws into an Iron Beak Owl and his opponent plays a Twilight Drake, then the Zombie Chow will actually get some value, which is some value is actually more than no value, which is what usually happens in this matchup.
That's absolutely true, and that's also because Strifecro goes for an 8/8 Giant instead of Twilight Drake, because there will be a risk of an Iron Beak Owl. But Trump is able to BGH right now.
Yeah, normally you would, I guess in this matchup you would favor the Giants because they oppose your opponent's Drakes, but sometimes you do go for the Twilight Drakes first when you have both Drakes and Giants. But if you're running Faceless and you draw Faceless, I think the Mountain Giant is the clear choice, even though it can get countered by BGH, for instance.
So now being Strifecro, do you go for Twilight Drake to have better trades here, or do you go for a second Giant? I would be afraid of going for a second Giant. You can lose it here.
Yeah, definitely.
But then again, just tap Giants. It's such a powerful play. 8/8 free drop. Is there a better free drop in the game? I don't think there is. This was such a powerful play that we actually lost Monk. So now for Trump, so many cards. He is not suspecting that Faceless. Playing Twilight is not really going to deal with this Mountain Giant, so Strifecro might be able to just copy it with Faceless. And one of the strategies is that if you can't deal with the card, you just ignore the card and go around it. But can Trump really go for face? Dealing that 4 damage was excellent, because now copying it with Faceless, it's not the best play. There is an Iron Beak and Mortal Coil though. Monk, are you back?
Yes, I am back, and that seems to be like the clear play. Just getting rid of that Twilight Drake, and Unfortunately, Trump without Dark Bomb in the previous turn, he actually doesn't have a really good way to deal with this Mountain Giant.
You said Dark Bomb is not good in this matchup. Did you lie?
Oh, Monk lied. No, I mean it's generally not good, but situationally it can be good. I would say.
Situationally, it was amazing at that moment, but I like how Trump attacked into that giant with the BGH.
Yeah, he just have to guarantee some value out of that BGH, or it might have just gotten Dark Bombed or even Hellfired.
All right, so Strifecro choosing not to attack phase, just dealing with that zombie chow. But then he is getting closer to Molten Giants.
I think Strifecro can't make the read yet that his opponent doesn't have a Hellfire. So I'm not sure if like attacking the Zombie Chow really matters too much. What attacking the Zombie Chow does do though is it protects the Iron Beak Gal, which may be relevant if Trump plays a Sludge Belcher, for example.
Oh yeah, that's certainly true. So what will be the play here? Trump would love to have Hellfire. No Hellfire though. Is there a Shadow Flame? I can't see a Shadow Flame. The cards are so much cluttered. So many cards right now. Sludge Belcher is contesting the Giants and the Owl at the same time.
This is pretty much exactly what Strifecro was playing around, that Sludge Belcher. Now he'll be able to bust through that Sludge Belcher, and he'll even be able to save his Iron Beak Owl with the Defender of Argus if he plays that.
That's true. And you have 3 more mana to do whatever he wants.
I would probably think a tap is in order. He might also decide that the Iron Beak Owl isn't that threatening, or rather this Iron Beak Owl isn't as valuable, so he might just play a Twilight Drake instead. Or even a Sludge Belcher, perhaps.
What would you rather have? A Twilight Drake, which is a 4/9, or an Iron Beak Owl on board?
I think, well, obviously, I think you'd rather have the Twilight Drake on board, but Twilight Drake is going to get value in this matchup regardless, and the Defender of Argus generally doesn't get as much value. So it's just, instead of playing the strongest play on this turn, it's just maximizing the total strength of your deck overall.
Alright, that makes a lot of sense. I agree as well. So Defender of Argus is going to be dropped by Strifecro. Owl attacking to the Sludge token. There is the first AoE for Trump.
Yeah, but well, fortunately, because the Sludge Belcher kind of killed off the Mountain Giant of Strifecro, he's able to play his own Sludge Belcher, or he's able to play his own Mountain Giant here.
This means
And
that
it's
Strifecro
actually-
will be able to faceless it.
Yes, but at the same time, Strifecro currently doesn't have an answer to this Mountain Giant. So if Strifecro does decide to faceless it, Trump can always respond with a Shadow Flame.
That's true. Double Twilight Drake. Oh man, this match is so dangerous. Like you can't just drop minions without thinking through. Let's say I would love to play double Twilight, but then it plays into the Shadow Flame, and you just have to make very careful plays. You can't really attack phase, because if you attack your opponent and get him too low, he'll get the Molten Giants. And again, Shadow Flames.
Yeah, exactly. A very awkward turn for Strifecro. Actually,
So let's
I
think
have
like
no
what
idea
you can
what I would
actually
play.
do here.
Maybe something as simple as just developing a Sludge Belcher here.
And attacking your minions into the Giants.
Yeah, or the Twilight Drake, because it's going to survive a Shadow Flame.
But you still attack into the Mountain Giant, right? Like you want to avoid a Shadow Flame on a 4/5. You want to get some value from those minions.
I'd maybe say even attacking into not the Mountain Giant, but rather the Ancient Watcher could be something you could consider.
Yeah, that makes sense as well. Just get rid of the minion that can be Shadow Flamed. And those Drakes are actually huge.
Yeah, Strifecro doing the best with what he has. He's playing perfectly around Shadow Flame.
There's Dr. Boombo. An amazing card for Trump.
Yeah, Trump's going to be very happy with this Dr. Boom because he saw his opponent didn't have an answer for the 8/8 Mountain Giant, so he's almost certainly not going to have an answer for the 7/7 Dr. Boom. No Soulfire, no, or rather, no Siphon Soul, and no BGH either.
I don't think Strifecro is running Siphon Soul at all.
Yeah.
Oh,
Strifecro's.
Tori-san.
Oh, it's going to be huge. But Strifecro is one of those players that he just really detests Siphon Soul because often in a lot of matchups, it's too much mana for not enough value.
Alright, so Strifecro uses Hellfire to clear the board. Even though he didn't have a Shadow Flame, he still found a way for a nice clear. And
Well, there's the Dark Bomb. He finally found it.
and there's a 3/3 on the board.
Now, I said that Trump's deck was kind of conservative and not too greedy, but he does have the Jiraxis, and this might be one of those games where it actually ends up mattering. Again, Trump is going for the Giant play, even though it's not too efficient, because it's so much mana that you would normally want to play this Molten Giant for free. But he's seeing my opponent struggled to deal with the Giants last turn and the turn before, so he's probably going to struggle yet again with this Molten Giant. Plus,
Yeah, that
my
makes a lot
opponent,
of sense.
yeah, plus my opponent is at 14 health, so he could possibly play double Molten Giant, and this sets up perfectly for Shadow Flame in order to counter that double Molten Giant play.
Unless Strifecro is actually going to play Molten Giant and kill that Molten Giant himself. Is there a way? Yeah, now there is. Now actually he can play both. That's 4, 6. Yeah, he can basically play double Molten Giant and kill the Molten Giant with the Dark Bomb attack and the Mortal Coil. But is that a play?
Yeah, if he goes for that, it could actually be checkmate here. Just setting up lethal with pretty much no way for Trump to respond. Although, you know what? Trump has the coin. So if he draws into a second Molten Giant, he can play the Molten Giant and maybe fit in a tap there, and then coin Shadow Flame.
That's true.
Oh,
Where's
unfortunately,
Tori-san?
that's not going to be it.
Well, he can still set up some taunts, right? And there is no AoE from Strifecro, no Shadow Flame there, but he has that Faceless, and now it's a situation where Strifecro is putting big minions on board, and Trump doesn't really have a way to deal with everything that's being played here. So Farseer and taunts, or is it alright? Sludge Belcher.
Yeah. He could have actually considered playing the Earthring Farseer and the Sun Fairy Protector, but
Yeah.
I like this play more because he actually doesn't want to heal himself. If he heals himself, then drawing a Molten Giant on the next turn actually won't be an out.
That's true. Well, he used the double Mountain Giant, right?
Yeah.
So he needs something to be able to have a big Shadow Flame turn. Maybe playing that Molten Giant was actually a mistake, like getting that early on board. So now the Shadow Flame is kind of useless.
Yeah.
Unless he actually
Also-
deals enough damage to those minions with minion attack.
Yeah. Also with this play, if Strifecro had Faceless plus Shadow Flame, he would have just ended the game immediately.
That's true. But he's probably not running Faceless.
And wow, what a perfect
Jiraxis.
Jiraxis turn. Playing the first Jiraxis often is game winning in this matchup.
Job done.
Alright, and killing the Tori-san. This means that Trump needs something with 5 attack to deal with both of them using the Shadow Flame. Can he do that? Is there anything he can do here?
He needs to tap, get a Molten Giant, and Shadow Flame that, basically. I don't see anything else.
He can Shadow Flame... Oh wow, Ancient Watcher, but he will not... Will he have enough mana? Defender of Argus? Yeah, Defender of Argus and Shadow Flame, right? This is 5.
Okay, yeah. Oh wow, that actually works.
Wait, yeah, he has enough mana. That Ancient Watcher was something he needed to clear the board. That was a very interesting combination of cards enabled by Tori-san. Sponsored by
Exactly.
Tori-san. Okay,
But
so now back to the
unfortunately
drawing board.
Yeah, unfortunately for Trump, he's still in a very disadvantageous position because, like I said, Strifecro, he played the he played the first Jiraxis, so he's going to be able to get more Infernals out earlier. And that's going to be pretty much impossible for Trump to deal with. Plus, the pressure that Strifecro is putting on with his Infernals means that Trump both has to deal with the Infernals, plus summon Jiraxis maybe on the same turn.
Yeah, also, this means that Trump might not be able to play Jiraxis ever in this game. Siphon Soul. Okay, so Trump is going for Jiraxis.
You face Jiraxis, and our lord of the burning.
How much damage is there incoming? That's 14 points of damage.
So you actually...
There is 1 point of damage, then Trump is dead. He's taking the gamble here. I like it.
Yep.
That's brave. And then no
And
more
wow.
damage.
So, wow, Trump can actually mount a comeback here.
Yeah, that's true. He just went for the gamble
Because-
that there is nothing that Strifecro can do to deal 1 extra point of damage.
Yeah, wow, this is actually really amazing. Because Trump, on the following turn, he can summon an Infernal, Shadow Flame it, attack a Slime perhaps, and then heal back up with the Farseer. Perhaps even taunt up that Farseer.
That's true. This is still anybody's game. I think Strifecro has an advantage here, but Trump is fighting, even though it looked really bad for him turn before. But that Torison Monk. Torison is doing some work here.
Yeah, he's gonna get a lot of free cards from Strifecro.
This matchup is actually amazing. I really enjoy watching it right now. Jiraxis with Jiraxis. So many minions. So much fun stuff happening. Free Sun Fury Protector. Sylvanas for 4. Alright, so Infernal and Shadow Flame? Or is it...
Well, yeah. I guess you first go for the Twilight Drake, then Shadow Flame.
Yeah. And then you kill
Seems
the
pretty
1-2.
So even though Trump, he mounted somewhat of a comeback, the issue is that Strifecro still has a Shadow Flame in his hand. And also, oh, of course, he has the BGH. Also, Trump, he's used both Shadow Flames. After you go Jiraxis form in this mirror, Shadow Flame is the most important card. And now that Trump has used both of them, I think Strifecro, again, is still going to be in a pretty dominating position.
Also, the fact that Trump still has that 1 Molten Giant in his deck. How much will Molten Giant cost? Can you play
that's
that
true.
Molten Giant at all?
You actually can because you're at 3 health. But still, I don't think you want to play Molten Giants, especially with the BGH in Strifecro's hand.
I have no time for
Alright,
games.
so... Good news for Trump is that he still has the Siphon Soul. So he can continue fighting and trying to exhaust resources from your opponent. But Strifecro knows the double Shadow Flame is out, so he's going to overextend easily. Oh, there is this Molten Giant costing how much? It's 8! Because Jiraxis' health total is 15. So it only reduces the cost so far.
So Trump can make history once again by playing the first Molten Giant ever in a tournament game to cost 8 mana while in Jiraxis form. But unfortunately, he doesn't do it. And we're going to go on to the final match, boys.
Match, like Game 5, Monk. Strifecro versus
Yeah.
Trump. And we're going to see a handlock, a very anti-aggro handlock from Trump versus, I believe, what is Green Patron from Strifecro. And we've seen the Green Patron losing before in that matchup.
Yeah, it generally is a fairly favorable matchup for the handlock, simply because of the Molten Giants, or rather the Mountain Giants, that can come on turn 4, and the Grim Patron often doesn't have a way to deal with it. In fact, I believe that because Grim Patron is so popular these days, it's getting handlock back into the metagame and also pushing Demon handlock down, because the Mountain Giants typically are a lot better than the Void Callers against Grim Patron Warrior. Just specifically in that matchup.
Yeah, that's true. And just following up with those big minions like Mountain Giants, Twilight Drakes can be annoying for Grim Patron Warrior, only having those executes. But here we see execute already in Strifecro's hand. and Trump will have to make a mulligan. Those cards are not great versus Green Patron.
Yeah, it's very important to have at least one execute in your opening hand by turn 4, because you really need to deal with that first threat. Because this is a combo deck, it's a lot like actually the old Miracle Rogue against Handlock, where you pretty much either had to have a sap or you had to set up a board in order to deal with the first Mountain Giant.
So we were mentioning Green Patron, and I know that a lot of people are familiar with the deck. You mentioned it's like old Miracle Rogue combo, but can you explain to our viewers that are not that familiar with this new build of Warrior, or they thought it's actually a fun deck where, in fact, it's one of the most powerful decks right now? How does it work?
Yeah, basically, you have a lot of win conditions in your deck. It's just very similar to Miracle Rogue as well. You also have a lot of card draw. So what this deck actually tries to do is it tries to cycle through its entire deck to get that Emperor Thorazane. And with Emperor Thorazane, it reduces the mana cost of Warsaw Commander, Frothing Berserker, and Grim Patron. With those cards combined, you can often just either set up boards that your opponent can't deal with, or just OTK your opponent with huge Frothing Berserkers.
Which is amazing. Just attacking your opponent with a 15 attack Frothing Berserker, or 2 of them with charge, is one of the best things you can do in Hearthstone. Definitely try it at home.
Yeah, back in the day, you could used to be able to charge Molten Giants into your opponent's face. Unfortunately, that got nerfed, but you can even charge something better, like something like 16 for Frothing Berserkers. Isn't that more fun?
It definitely is. The board shakes when you hit face there. All right, so let's evaluate the hands of our players. Trump here getting that Zombie Chow, but using the tap on turn 2. Zombie Chow is a bit awkward. Like it's alright to trade into stuff, but then you don't want to have 2 attack minions on board, and especially where there's a possible Acolyte of Pain, not really being able to deal with that easily.
Yeah, exactly.
Having a Zombie Chow.
Yeah, Trump, even though he teched in Zombie Chows against like the Hunter matchup, Zombie Chows are actually a fairly dead card in this matchup.
All right, and for Strifecro, he's opening hand. He has a weapon. He has some card draw. It's like a lot of people think that you want to have combo pieces in your opening hand, but this is not true. You want to draw into them. So you want to have exactly what Strifecro has right now. Card draw, Slam, Gnomish Inventor, Acolyte of Pain. Against Handlock, that execute is amazing. So Strifecro in a pretty much good position. He probably would love to have a Death Spite and Whirlwind effects. You need them. Yeah, you can enable all this stuff here and cycle. He might be keeping the Slam for Acolyte of Pain, maybe. Like slamming your own Acolyte, getting 2 cards out of this. Basically even 3, because Acolyte will be able to draw another one.
Yeah, on turn 2, Strifecro actually thought pretty long and hard about whether he wanted to armor up or equip the Fire War Axe. Because you don't have shield slams, your armor isn't as important, and your health total almost never matters in this matchup. But the issue with equipping a Fire War Axe on that turn was that if Strifecro drew into a Death Spite, he would have regretted it pretty heavily. And this Fire War Axe isn't really useful in this matchup. It doesn't even it's not even useful to proc execute, because you already have the slam in your hand anyway.
Yep, that's true. And for Trump also, a very weird situation on turn 4 where he didn't have a Giant, he didn't have a Twilight Drake, but he did have that Iron Beak Owl to shut down Acolyte of Pain and maybe deny a bit of draw from Strifecro. Because as Mog mentioned, Strifecro will want to cycle through the deck. He wants basically to draw every card in his deck to use them against that Handlock to get the win.
It's very important here that Trump actually was able to throw down an Ancient Watcher on this turn, because now he's set up in order to Shadow Flame this Ancient Watcher in order to deal with any huge Grim Patron boards. We've noted that Trump plays 2 Shadow Flame, and I believe it's only 1 Hellfire in this deck that we've seen already. So
We've seen one, yeah.
Yeah, so again, this Ancient Watcher is so impactful, even though it may seem innocuous at first. It's so threatening for Strifecro that he might even decide to slam it and kill it with the Fire War Axe.
And then execute the 8/8 with after attacking it with 1/1.
Yeah. Also, what attacking it with the Fire War Axe does is it gets you under 30 HP, so that Battle Rage actually does more. Actually, wow, this is a pretty interesting play here. One that I certainly didn't expect.
All right, so he is going for the Battle Rage to draw 2 cards. Yeah, this is surprising as well. So execute for sure. Setting up a 4/3. It's not a board you Shadow Flame really. But it is asking for something from Trump, and Trump can just play Defender Vargas here with Ancient Watcher. So setting up 2 big taunts, looking really nice. Strifecro will have to do something with them. Already using that 1 execute.
Taunts are like these Ancient Watchers are so good in this matchup. The Patron Warrior doesn't have any ways to deal direct damage to your opponent's face, so he'll actually have to go through these taunts one by one.
Yeah, but on the other hand, Strifecro is ensuring that he has enough cards. Already having Warsome Commanders, great cards to have to give charge to your minions. Where the previous games that we've seen that Green Patron was always losing was where there were no Warsome Commanders.
Yeah, exactly. Yet another good Battle Rage here.
2 cards for 2 mana. Just it's better than Arcane Intellect. It's like saying to mages, "Hey, I can draw cards better because I'm a warrior." All right, so what's the play here? He can still get 1 mana from the coin. He can play the Corsair. I don't like using execute that much.
No,
you want to
you
execute
have
for
to
something
save your
bigger.
executes. Exactly.
Corsair is going to protect the 2/2, but you might want to attack into the 5/3 to play around the Hellfire or even to deny Shadow Flame value. There's another Giant.
Yeah, very fortunate for Trump that he drew that Giant, but do you actually play it this turn? Is perhaps Emperor Thorazane a better play to set up for future turns?
Torisan is so tempting. Just getting all those mana points. And Trump goes for it.
Exactly. The thing with Thorazane is that it's threatening enough that your opponent might just have to execute it, and it essentially accomplishes almost a similar thing to Mountain Giant, except it actually is more value, reducing all the mana cost of cards in your hand.
And if there's a man,
okay.
If there's a man who knows value, that's Trump. So he makes a correct call there.
Yeah, Zombie Chow is actually okay here because it's your opponent probably isn't gonna do Warsong Commander, Coin, Grim Patron on this turn. It's just a bit too early here.
I'm just thinking if there's lethal right now. I'm looking at that Unstable Ghoul top deck and trying to count if Warsong Commander, Thrilling Berserker, Coin, Unstable Ghoul is going to create a lethal situation. Probably not.
So there'd be 9 minions on the board. Wait, yeah, 9 minions on the board, and that would be 9, 10, 11.
Maybe Strifecro counted that faster than me.
Yeah, it'd be 14. I count 19 damage at least.
But I don't think if he will be able to go through the rope here. Strifecro can actually rope.
Is this a rope turn? Oh my god, Strifecro looks distressed. What's gonna happen here?
Yeah, okay, it was 1 damage off. He somehow pulled that off.
Yeah, it was exactly 19 damage as I thought.
Right?
But you know what? He's gonna force his opponent to have like some kind of heal. But you know what? Trump has heals and spades, and he also has a Molten Giant.
Yeah, so Trump has everything.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Trump is just trying to breathe here. It's like seeing that turn, the rope, everything running. It's like, oh my god, am I dead? I'm alive at 1. And now.
Oh my god, what a brilliant game here.
Strifecro is look at Strifecro. He is like, does he have it? Both players really, really focused. Oh man, that was a brilliant turn. I loved it. So now you do play Molten Giants, and you do heal yourself with 6 mana, right? You have 2 mana left. You can Dark Bomb. and you kill all the other stuff, and you hope that you survive. But it looks good. But you have to execute all those things before the rope runs out. So Trump, make your move.
Can't pull a hyped here.
Yeah, full hyped.
Okay, so now gonna fit in like as many taunts and heals as possible, and then just clear the board as much as possible as well.
Yeah,
and it's looking pretty good for pretty good for Trump, especially since there's no Grim Patron in Strifecro's hand. There's no Inner Rage, so he can't actually get past this the Sludge Belcher.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like Strifecro made a gamble that there will be no, I guess, no heal, no taunt. Taunt will be fine. Yeah. Heal is annoying, definitely.
To be honest, though, I feel like judging from Strifecro's reaction, his distressed reaction after he made those attacks, I think Strifecro might not have had enough time to count the damage that he would have with the Frothing Berserker, and he thought there was a possibility for lethal there.
I can only imagine Strifecro saying, "Oh no, it's not 20."
Oh my god, that's so Strifecro.
Yeah. All right, so here he is actually having a pretty good hand still with the Frothing and everything, but he doesn't have enough mana to go through. You know, because playing Warsong and then Frothing and then charging with the minions into that Sludge Belcher might be amazing and might win him the game, but this is not yet the turn to do so. So he's going for more cards, trying to set up for lethal maybe with the Frothing next turn, but he needs Whirlwinds.
What do you even execute here? I think you just execute the Sludge Belcher.
Yeah, you go for the win, kind of.
Yeah, all your opponent's cards are free at this point anyway.
Does Hellfire change anything? How much damage is there for Trump? That's 9, 12, 17 points of damage plus 6. That's 23. So I guess what Trump has to do is just clear those guys, keep the taunt up, because that taunt is really important.
Is it though?
I think you want to have taunts.
Here's the thing, I guess, because Strifecro hasn't used Emperor Thorazane yet, Strifecro can't do a turn like Warsong Commander, Grim Patron, and Frothing Berserker. That's just too much mana. That's 11 mana. So I guess the taunt is actually good, because if he had that combination of cards, the slime would actually be a detriment.
Yeah,
because
but now
it would
slime is
buff
actually
the
amazing.
Frothing Berserker. Exactly.
No Taunt Giver, Molten Giant, but no Taunt Giver. So he is going to use that Farce here. But you know what? If Strifecro picks up something like... Strifecro is going to draw 3 cards, right? He needs a Whirlwind. And a way to deal with this, with the slime.
Yeah, if he heads a Whirlwind, he actually just wins the game here without the slime. So is the slime gonna stay up? That's a real question.
Whirlwind and execute.
Both executes have been used. There's the Whirlwind.
Oh, okay. So double Whirlwind or like Inner Rage.
Inner
double
Rage, yeah.
Second Whirlwind or Inner Rage is lethal.
Well, second Whirlwind wouldn't even do it because there's only 9 mana coming up.
Oh, you're right. So, okay.
So
oh my god!
It's
Inner Rage. Strike
the exact card he needs.
This is lethal. What? Oh, he can still go through it, but like Gromash is lethal. Gromash, Whirlwind, Inner Rage, 10 damage to face. Is Warsong lethal? Can Strifecro see lethal here? With Warsong, possibly there is lethal as well. With Frothing, so much damage incoming.
He just wants to kind of show off at this point.
Well, actually, Monk, I lied. If he would get something with one attack that can attack into that slime, I believe it was still lethal with the Frothing.
Yeah, the real question is, can Strifecro not rope on this turn? And he doesn't rope it. Wow, what an exciting conclusion.
What a series. So Strifecro is going to take game number 5 and the match versus Trump. But what an excellent play by Trump. Just getting there to game 5. Unfortunately, not taking it. But, oh man, I'm so excited. TSM versus Cloud9. And until the last card, that one card decided the fate of the match.
Wow, just a bit unfortunate for Trump because he's so close. Just and yet so far, yet again, Trump kind of falls just before the round of 4, and it's Strifecro, probably I would say the favorite in this match that moves on in the HTC Invitational.
All right, so we have our top 4, and the top 4 will be Forsen versus Hyped, and then we'll have Tides of Time versus Strifecro. So Cloud9 deathmatch, one of them is going to make it to the final. But right now, guys, we are going to take kind of like a longer break, I believe 10 minutes. And after that, we will be ready with the first match, the semifinal for you. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.